You're listening to Postgrad Depression, where we talk about this week's current hyperfixation. My name's Mariah, and my fun fact is I've decided that I am going to reread haiku from the beginning when I have all the manga.
Nice.
My name is Kinsey.
If we had a fucking recorder on our life, like
shut up.
that's embarrassing. How many times have we done that?
I don't know. I don't have that many fun facts about me, I guess. My fun fact is that I found a new song. Well, it's not new from Hozier, but it's one that I didn't take into importance when I was listening to the album beforehand because I didn't understand it that well.
What is it?
We'll talk about it.
We'll get to it.
Oh.
I'll let you know. But yes, I was just like, wow, this man just constantly keeps surprising me every time I re-listen to the album.
Give it to you.
No, you did.
My name is Kaylin, and my fun fact is somehow for the past couple of weeks, I've gotten out of introducing us into the podcast. I haven't done it in weeks.
It's because that one time I accidentally messed up and made Kinsey do it twice.
Yeah, and I knew it. And she gaslit me. And she gaslit me today at Kintaro, too.
The guitar one was
And
deliberate.
I still didn't do
The-
it.
And then she still
that one
gets
was
mad when I
deliberate.
say I'm right, when she's the one gaslighting me.
We
When
were sitting down waiting for a sushi, and she was like, "Didn't you cancel on Kaylee twice?" And I was like, "No, just once." She's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, I canceled her twice."
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
But it only takes one.
But the podcast one wasn't intentional.
It only takes one opinion opposing mine for me to not believe in myself anymore. So
Yeah, she was like, "I believed you, and I had no reason to." Like, it's one thing for me to say it confidently, but I said it so
she
hesitantly.
didn't even
I
say
was
it
just
confidently, and I was like, at the end of the day, I'm a piece of trash, so I could be wrong.
like, "Gotta trust yourself, girlie."
What up, Kinsey?
No.
What up, Kaylin?
What are we up to tonight?
Today we throwing down with some Hozier. I'm gonna be talking about Hozier because he's my favorite man. He's the person.
We're talking about his second album specifically.
Yeah, Wasteland,
Must
baby.
be nice to just store like stuff in like a squirrel in your own hair. Like,
And I love him
You
so
could.
much, and I'm gonna meet him relatively soon. How do I know this? I don't. We're just manifesting it.
I manifested it too.
And he is my favorite musician. His music has, I would say, any artist I've ever listened to, like, he has deeply affected me the most. Like, he has been so influential on me.
I told
So-
Kinsey today that only Pisces men should be allowed to write music. Or
Love
only
music.
Only Pisces people should be allowed to write love music.
Yes, and Mariah said I could only talk about one album per episode, so I chose the Wasteland Baby one because it's got a lot of good ones, even though every single album has really good ones. So we're gonna go through.
You should have just
each
made your
song-
own albums of all the best songs, and then we'll review that
no,
one.
we will be reviewing every album, but we're gonna start with this one, and we're gonna go through one song at a time.
Are we starting from the beginning? I want to follow along
Yes,
with the lyrics.
yes, we're starting from the beginning,
Thank you.
and I'm gonna ask you guys what you guys thought about the song. Did you like the tune? Did you like the lyrics? What did you think the song meant? And then I will talk about it myself after. So, Nina cried power.
I took notes, and all I wrote for that one specifically was Powerhouse intro. I thought it was a really good song to start it. Obviously, like I said, I've listened to Hozier before, and I know his vocals are like amazing. So that was a really good one to just like pull you right in because it does just like it's like gut wrenching like his other ones, but it's like my heart was going. I was in it. I was like, yes, keep it going.
He like really sets the scene.
Yes,
like it's like
exactly.
pumping.
Yeah, the intro is really important. Like the first song you listen to is really important like that.
Yeah, I like a lot of the metaphors and the it's not the waking, it's the rising. Like, you know, yeah, it's easy to wake up, but like you gotta like get yourself up. You gotta like push yourself out of bed. You know, like
Yeah, and I think he definitely talks about that because he's like, it's not just knowing there's a problem; it's getting up and doing something about a societal
Yeah,
issue
we watched
like
the music
this.
video for it, and it was
really
just
good.
people listening to it for the first time. But you could see reflective in the background. They were showing like scenes from like riots, like pride parades.
on a giant projector.
Yeah, it was crazy. You
That's
could
pretty
cool. See all of it in the background.
yeah, it's not the forgetting of the lie. It's not the opening of the eyes, which I've talked about chosen ignorance before. Which like, yeah, we've talked about nature versus nurture, but then there's also just like the you're grown, you can look it up. Like,
Yeah.
you know.
My little thing I said was hella rise up vibes, kill the entire government,
Yes.
stand up for what is right, and it makes me want to riot. That's what I wrote for it.
Nice.
Which the song is much deeper and
Yeah.
cooler, but definitely that is how I feel. Is there anything else you guys have to say about it?
It's not my very favorite from it. I mean, he has a beautiful voice, so it's all gonna sound good. But like, you know what I mean.
Yeah, when it comes on, we'd be bumping in the car. We'd be like, Nina, cry.
But we're here to find the loves of our life.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard you stole
I'm
my
with
joke.
Colin.
I heard you stole my joke.
What joke?
You told Kinsey that Hozier made you listen to Hozier made you want to be straight.
Oh,
And last night I said
quoted-
Hozier made me want to fall in love with a man.
I thought that like when you guys would read that you understood I was copying
Oh, I didn't
you.
even see the joke. Kinsey
Oh.
just told me what you said, so I
Yeah.
was just like, damn, she stole my shit.
Yeah, that was fucking funny. All right, next song, Almost. What did you guys think about Almost?
I really like this one.
I wrote down, I loved the new love and the sad to happy in the chorus because like each like parts of like the verses were like a very mellowy, sadder part, and then every time the chorus picked in, it brought in like this very joyful tune to it.
What do you mean new love? I thought this one, okay,
I might
y'all
be thinking of the wrong
listen,
song.
I'm bad at poetry, but like so sometimes you're going to actually explain what it is even though I took it a certain way.
That's okay.
I took
like
it
that.
as he's with a woman and like she's almost that woman, like the one that he's been in love with before, but she's not quite that woman.
Yes, that's what it was. Like he was talking about this past love, but he's with a new person.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I take it as like a longing for that person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually haven't looked up the analysis for this song. I'm
So,
sorry, guys. I looked
That's
up
what I was
almost
saying
all
though
of
when
them.
I said like the new like it's like a new love dynamic because he's with someone new.
Yeah,
And
it's
I-
like you
and I-
almost hit all the marks, but you're
Yeah,
not
and
quite
so
there.
during all the verses, oh, something just popped in my arm. Holy shit, that hurt. Oh my god.
Ooh.
When he was talking in the verses, it was a very sadder, like it was a mellow, like verse, like this, like sadness, like I'm almost me again, like.
He says, I laugh like me again. She
Yeah.
laughs like you.
And then when the chorus came in, the melody picked up.
Oh,
where
I
it was a
love
very
how it
happy
sounds.
part, and that's why I was saying I really liked that.
I wouldn't know where. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, one thing I'll say for all of his songs, like they all sound so different, but they all sound so like first of all, this man is just like a genius. Like I don't know anything about music, so if this man ever listens to this, I will actually die of embarrassment. But like the melodies, like the rhythm of each one, like they all feel so unique to whatever story he's trying to tell. And it seems like the intention that's behind the instruments being used, the speed, you know, like the drops and like the picking up of certain sounds. I'm like, damn, bitch, you are storytelling right
Yeah,
now.
I was gonna say you took the words right out of my mouth. Storytelling.
I was telling Kinsey how like he's very metaphoric with his lyrics. Like obviously one of my favorite artists is Kid Quill, and I told her I was like they both speak in metaphors very often. It's like a different type of it because it's a love song versus just like a happier like Kid Quill does like these like funny clever quips where like Hozier's like I'm gonna use this metaphor and if you sit on it you're gonna have a whole reality check.
Yeah, like it's
If you
it's
sit
more
on
like
it, it's the key.
you got to know certain references. They're very like tied to folklore and mythology, things like that.
Sometimes he's throwing so many at me though. I hadn't even processed the one before. Like, you
Hozier
really
is
gotta
like-
read along sometimes.
Yeah, you have to look at one line and be like, okay, what is Eurydice? What is, you know, stuff like that.
Also, as far as the melody for this song, like listening to it at work, it was definitely one of the bops for me. I liked how it sounded. It would get me in a good
Bro, I was listening to this
vibe,
at
even
work
though it's
doing
kind of a
truck.
sad song.
Yes, I would
It
say
is.
it was kind of. I love listening to the song, but it's definitely a sadder one to me. So it's not one of my go-tos.
It's funny because I was at work, like, used to dance and like putting this shit on stuff, and then I was
I
like,
wouldn't
and
know
all of a
that.
sudden you hear like, the part where he was like, she's almost you or something. I was like, oh wait, I'm not supposed to be happy right now.
I know he's like, I wouldn't know where to start. You know,
Yeah.
like he's like upbeat when he's
It's
singing that
happy,
part.
and then the verse kicks in. You're like, wait.
I know he slows the fuck down.
Yeah.
I'm like,
But I love
all
that
right,
shit.
hold on.
Yeah.
So the next song is Movement.
Movement.
So obviously some of these songs
I
we're gonna
wrote
talk
down
about longer.
sex,
Um,
which is not. It's just funny.
is that all the notes you have for Movement?
That's actually all I wrote. We did talk more, but that's all I wrote for me to remember what the song was about.
Oh, okay.
I like this one personally being, listen, I'm catching up with the poetry bitch shit, and this one has a lot of more obvious poetry that like I can definitely like kind of get lost in it a bit easier. Not lost is the right word, but like move with it. Like the song's called Move It, but like some of his songs I really have to sit with it and like process it. This isn't one of those. It's just very flowy, and I think it's because they're not terribly deep ones to understand.
Deep references. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not hidden in lore. They're
Yeah.
they're still very powerful analogies and metaphors, but like I don't have to think too long to understand what he's trying to say.
Absolutely. This is one of my favorite songs. Like it's a song I listen to quite often.
It's sexy.
It's sexy. I think the entire mood and vibe just I could be sad that day, I could be angry that day. Whatever emotion I'm feeling that day, if I put this song on, it doesn't matter. I go straight into I want to fall in love. I want to
Y'all, when I lived
you
with
know?
Kinsey, I could hear her getting ready for school, and like this one, Sunlight, but especially Movement was one of the ones I would hear you play in the morning to just like start your day.
My favorite lyric from the song, which is so funny because it's the first fucking line.
I was putting my finger on that one. I was going to mention that one.
Do you want to say it or do you want me to say it?
I still watch you when you're grooving as if through water from the bottom of a pool.
Yes. Thank you for bringing in the lyric, Kaylin. I'm just messing with you. The reason I like it so much is because obviously Kaylin knows that I'm like definitely very autistically interested in several things in my life, but one of those things was water, and still is. I don't know why water is so
level
interesting to me. Yes, water is still so interesting to me. I feel like it really calms me down, and one of my favorite, if not favorite things about water when I was a kid and still now is when you sit at the bottom of a pool and you just watch the reflections on the top of the water and the reflections on the bottom. Like if you look around.
Bro, I used to sink and just be like,
and you can feel the water moving you side to side. So the fact that he describes watching her in this awe and then like the enjoyment that he is brought from it, it literally put me in that moment of like sitting down at the bottom of the pool.
It's like a simplicity of just
it's almost like being hypnotized.
Moves, the water's physically moving him, and it happens naturally.
He
says several times how natural it is that like watching this woman move, that he's moved.
Yes, he says when you move, I'm moved. Which like moved can also mean that he's physically moved, but also just like, you know, just talking about himself. He's like, I'm moved by your presence. I think you're so amazing. You know what I'm saying? It's just it's so romantic to me. I'm like, how did you make such a romantic line out of something that, I mean, I'm not saying water can't be romantic. I'm just saying it's the way it was worded so simply. I was like, oh my God, that's so pretty.
In the melody, you definitely like, I can feel that motion with it, the flowing in the song.
It makes you kind of sway like you're in the water.
I know.
Oh
he's
my
so
God.
smart.
Oh my God, my heart's
He's he's fucking hypnotizing us. Like,
yeah, I would say when I listen to his
is.
songs, I feel hypnotized with whatever feeling he's wanting me to feel. Right? That's what I'm saying. I feel thrown into his storytelling. But yeah, since Mariah said sex, I said sex. I do think that this song,
it's not all about sex, but it gives you like a sex vibe.
I do think it's almost like a prelude to sex, like
I just walked in from work and I see you cutting up the food on the kitchen counter, and I'm just like, damn, I can't believe I got this girl.
Yes, I'm so in love by who you are and what your presence is, that like anything you do, I feel in sync with. Yeah. So it's almost like foreplay written by a woman is how it feels, you know, like, so that's why I really like it too. Let me see if there's any other lyrics that I liked. I mean, I like all of them, but I don't think I wrote any other ones. I liked when he said, I could never define all that you are to me. You know? I think that's so cute. Like, he can't even put into words exactly how she makes him feel. But, yeah, there are some really good ones, but we'll move on to the next song. So, the next song is No Plan. I'll listen to what you guys think about it first, and then I will say my thoughts about it.
All I wrote down was a single song lyric, apparently. It's so funny because I didn't write good notes like you. I just wrote ones that could trigger me to remember how I felt.
That's
okay. The lyric I wrote was "There will be darkness again."
Okay.
Caitlin.
I screenshot a hymn or like a section.
Yeah.
Okay. But your secret is safe with me, because if secrets were like seeds, keep my body from the fire. Like, don't burn my body.
Yep.
Like, hire a gardener for my grave. Your secret is safe with me. And if secrets were like seeds, when I'm lying under marvel at my flowers you'll have made. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh my goodness. Hozier constantly talks about like how death can't keep him apart from his lover in many different ways. Like, this one is in the sense of, maybe he's gone from the world, but is he really? Because she planted seeds within him and they grew even after his death.
Again, how I was telling you, like, it's not just like him making me want to fall in love. It is a foolishly fall in love. Like, I want to just be like extremely vulnerable and just fall so effortlessly. It makes, like, listening to it makes me feel like I'm like a fallen angel that chose to fall, because like the love that I would feel on earth is so much more
than being in heaven.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it so much. This song I really like.
You told me it was like one of your favorites.
It is literally so. Out of all of his songs, even though I love all the melodies and stuff like that, when No Plan comes on, just like Movement, I would say more for No Plan than Movement, but No Plan is this song that makes me feel like everything's going to be okay. Yeah. Like, I know it's still also about love, but it's just like this unwavering love for the person he's with. He's like, through like the world ending or like there not being any reason to live,
Yeah.
the only reason I have is to love you.
Yeah.
Like that's so valuable to me. And when
and
I
he
hear
writes
it,
so it feels so real. It's not like some cheesy like bubblegum
Yes.
pop song that's on the radio. Like it's like a genuine like feeling. It's like he's writing from his fucking soul.
I know.
Like that's just engraved in his heart.
When he says, "My heart is thrilled by the still of your hand. It's how I
I love
know
that part.
now that you understand. There's no plan, there's no race to be run." And I love when he says, "The harder the rain, honey, the sweeter the sun." That lyric itself makes me so happy because it's like, even if you're going through tough times with the person you love or tough times in your life, like looking at the better sides or the things that they bring you, like there will always be that sweeter sun. It's always going to be more important or worth it than whatever you're going through. And
there's also a lyric about like there's no hand on the rain. Like I feel like there's like a sense of like I'm not trying to be too controlling of like I don't know if that is like a theme at all in the song, but it's like, you know, it's okay, like we can navigate this. There's no plan, there's no hand on the rain, like we'll figure it out, you know?
yeah, I when I think
It
of
doesn't
that
have to be
lyric,
like you know when somebody like tries to control their bad situation, but it's like you're trying to control something you
Yes.
can't control.
yeah, the cool thing about his lyrics in all of his songs is that they could mean one thing on the surface, but almost like a word that has many definitions, like not just one, they can mean an entirely different thing. So when I hear that lyric, I hear from, although I'm a very spiritual person, I don't believe in God. Like I'm not like a traditional like religious person. So I don't believe in like a higher power that is telling me that I can't be gay or some shit like that, right? So when I hear him say that line, I hear him say like, there is no person in charge of us or this higher being, right? You know, but there's no hand on the rein, aka nobody's in charge of our fate. Nobody's like riding, you know, this horse without us knowing where it's going. It's more like we are choosing where we want to go.
Yeah, like,
and
like I
there's
was
no
saying, you're
pressure.
free.
Yeah, freedom. Like when I see it, I hear freedom. I don't hear like a higher power or anybody who is supposed to represent the, you know, control aspect. But when you said that, I do agree with that too. He's saying like there's no reason to stress out. If things are gonna, you know, if bad things are gonna happen, there will always be sun.
Yeah, the
Like
rain.
this,
Yeah,
you know, after the rain, there will always be that sweeter sun. And when I hear the song, I literally feel like everything's just going to be completely fine. Like his voice is so soothing. I love it so much. Are you okay, Mariah?
Yeah, I just zoned out really bad.
Oh.
Damn.
We're getting lyrical and poetry in here. That's
No, I
probably
was
gonna happen
listening,
one
but
of us.
that was bad. That was really bad.
It's
Where
okay,
you
girl.
where you went to? Where you come from?
Nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
Well,
At
Miss
the-
Nobody. What'd you think of Nobody?
Nobody was my favorite fucking song. I obviously, like I told Kinsey, it takes me more than a week to consume an album properly, in my opinion. As I talked about before, how I love music so much, it would take me longer than a week. And who knows, in a week I could have a different favorite song, because maybe in a week I might interpret something differently from an old song. But Nobody was my favorite. I literally loved. I'd be singing in my car the part where he's like, "I'd be appalled if I ever saw you try to be a saint. I wouldn't fall for someone who I didn't think would misbehave." And I loved like the tonage change at the end when he was like, obviously singing the same thing, but I was telling Kinsey how in songs they usually just repeat the chorus a bunch at the end. At the end, he was like, and on the other side, why should we deny the truth? We could have less to worry about, honey. I won't lie to you. And it felt like this, like, it's the
So
love
are they not
song.
together in this song?
What'd you say?
Are they not together
Oh,
in
no,
this
I think
song?
they're together.
No, they're together.
Okay.
He's literally
I-
saying like, like how much he loves her the whole time.
Okay.
I
And
think
I
he's saying there
looking
couldn't
back
be.
at her saying,
Yeah,
"There's
there
nobody
could
else
be
like
no
you."
one else. Yeah.
Yes, there couldn't
And
be
I
anyone
love
else.
the part
like
when
you.
he was talking about like how he like would prefer like to just wake up on her warm side of the bed over anywhere else. Like he's like, if I could
Oh
go back.
yeah, let me pull
it's
up
in the
that
second
lyric.
verse.
It's really good. Do.
I got
Okay,
Are you looking
okay.
at your
It
lyrics?
says if I had the choice between hearing either noise, the excitement of 1,000, or the soothing of your voice,
Oh yeah.
aka
Talking
her
about
voice,
being famous and shit.
at
Yeah.
first chance, I'd take the bed warmed by the body.
Yeah.
Like he's literally saying, like
Yeah, 'cause
I would
The part
never.
right before then, he was like, when you warm the bed on Wednesday, it's suicide on Tuesday. Like he's like mad at himself on Tuesday.
Or is it more so because he misses her so much
Yeah.
and he's waiting for Wednesday? I don't think he's mad at himself.
Sorry.
Are you
Oh,
looking
I
at
was
your
just
lyrics
confused.
Because it's
on
like
Spotify?
it's like talking about how he's on that tour. Like basically he's performing, so he's like mad at himself for not.
Oh, I
Like
guess I didn't
being
take it as
with
mad.
her.
It's more like life's unbearable,
Yeah, the same
unlivable.
thing. I mean, I think he's upset.
I guess I just saw different meanings, not the same
Okay.
thing. But what were you saying, Ken?
I was asking if you were looking at your lyrics.
Well, that makes sense. That looks easier.
But yes, I did love that song. Kinsey told me today that she's like, I was listening to the song. She said your favorite, and I could tell why you're your favorite. And I was like, damn.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I think it's again like that undeniable love that I
Yes.
love. Like I want you to be thinking about me and how much you love
And
me.
only me.
Yeah, and only me.
Well, what's
maybe
cool
I'm
is
toxic, Caitlin may say, but
I completely agree with Mariah. The funny thing is he's got multiple songs that have those. And I'm not going to pay attention to the toxic ones. I'm going to pay attention to the healthy ones where you're just very into somebody. And although Nobody is one of my favorites, it's not one of my favorites about all-consuming
I agree.
love.
I don't think it was as deep with the metaphors and everything like you were saying before.
I don't know. It like vibed with you when you told me that it was your favorite. I was like, you know what? That does seem like a Mariah's. It's kind of lighthearted, as in like he's just talking about how much he likes her, but still the depth of how much he wants to do with her. Even hearing him just say like, yeah, I'd be appalled if you ever acted like a saint. Like, that's kind of cute and silly.
Like, perfect girl that like can do everything and like little princess, little saints. Like I want you to like still be you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like the feelings in the song are deep. It's more like the way they're speaking to one another is more like lighthearted and like, you know, like you said, I wouldn't want somebody that couldn't misbehave. Like that's very like cheeky to me, you know?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to say about Nobody, Kaylin?
I didn't have a ton to say, and that's just
okay.
my honest feedback. I like it, and I do see why you like it a lot. I think maybe it's just like there are other songs that resonated with me more that do talk about similar aspects, but still really good song.
Yeah, very good. All very good. I love him. The next song is To Noise Making.
Also
I don't
known
have a
as
ton
Sing.
to talk about with this one except for thank you, Hozier. I will be screaming in my car singing even if it don't sound good. Thank you.
I told Kinsey that it reminded me of obviously I was like getting emotional telling Kinsey.
This is Mariah's song, guys.
Obviously we talked about skate. We talked about skating's fun. And then I was telling Kinsey about, you know, the haiku panel where he's like, I forget that volleyball is fun. And like hearing that reminded me like literally the line, it's like the main fucking song. I thought I wrote it down, but I guess I didn't. Where he put like, was it that or just the act of making noise that brought you joy? You don't have to sing it right, but who could call you wrong?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you're right. Like, I should be doing things simply because it brings me joy. Mm-hmm. And it was yet another reminder. So I was telling Kinsey how recently I've been trying to make sure I find the joy in my life. Like, yet again, I should just be reminding myself, like, I'm here because, like, this makes me happy because this fulfills me and this fills my cup, not because of another ulterior motive, not because, like, I feel obligated to do it. Like, I should be doing things strictly out of if it brings joy to my heart.
You didn't always sing it right, but who could call you wrong?
He says you didn't always sing it nice, but honey, sing it strong.
I love that
like,
part.
When Mariah was telling me her reasoning for why she liked the song, although I liked the song, I was like, oh my God, you are actually... I guess I understood the meaning of the song, but I wasn't understanding the super importance to my life. To me, how could I relate it to me? Because sometimes when I listen to songs, I just get so caught up in like the sound of it because it's so good that just even re-listening to the album and wanting to know what the songs meant for you guys so that I could tell you the meanings, I was like, oh my God, some of these songs I didn't even see how they related to me. Yeah. And when you told me that, I got literal chills. I was like, you're right. Like
that's super sweet that it like connected you guys in that way because you're both my friends, and I do realize that like when you guys go towards a craft or anything, you really focus on the doing it right part, but like you do gotta remind yourself like I should just be having fun, like sing it loud, you know, even if it's not right, like you should just be trying to have fun. So like if you draw in a whole sketchbook and like, you know, you still feel like half of your drawings don't make you as happy as they could, like the act of doing it and having fun.
And
like,
I literally have an Andy J quote. Andy J. Oh my God, what the fuck? Andy J pizza quote on my wall right now that says like, "Are you trying to enjoy the process or enjoy the final product or something like that?"
Yeah.
And I was telling Kinsey like, since living with her, I was like, I've been reminded of like,
Hozier,
more
we're crying.
Joyful things with my life, like. I want it to be like having more fun with stuff. It's almost like living with like a little sister that you like love hanging out with, and I'm like, I want to make sure like these moments, like I'm like trying to internalize this like joy that I'm having when we're like down in the basement dicking around about something. And like I'm like trying to remind myself like there are like happy moments in life that I should like those happy moments shouldn't be minor, like those should be like those are big moments. I should remember these, like this is a fun, I'm laughing, I'm enjoying my life, and I want those to feel like bigger moments than like the other moments in my life have felt.
You should
what
be
the fuck, that was
enjoying
so good.
You should be in. This is something that's really helped me with like, you know, my like happiness is, can you do this and be happy without posting it?
Well, I already don't post anything about
like,
my life.
Well, I'm saying like
just in general,
the gratification of even like the accomplishments or something like that. It's just like, just do it. Like put that paint stroke down. And I'm so happy. That's so sweet that like it meant a lot to you guys like that. For me, I'm not gonna lie, listening to it, I'm just like singing real loud
like,
and like sing. I was imagining like I've gotten really used to singing in the car, which
I love singing in the car.
I only got my car recently. Remember that. So I didn't get the freedom to do it in the shower.
Wait till you learn how to drive at night, because late night driving with the music blasting,
Crying.
whole different vibe. Whole different vibe.
No,
It's like a private concert,
Yeah,
bro.
it is.
It is.
Mm-hmm. And like, it doesn't matter if my voice breaks. Like, nobody's in the car.
Yep.
Nobody can see me. And it's like, when I listen to that song, it reminded me of that. And to me, it's just like a free private moment. That's how I took the song. But like,
Yeah, in the
hearing
literal
your guys'
sense,
thoughts,
that's what
it's
the
like
song was about.
so. Well, even when you look at it,
Yeah.
like, it does mean what you guys say.
Yeah.
Like, on the deeper level, the subconscious level to the song. So I really like that it did that for you.
Thanks.
The next song is As It Was, and I'm going to preface this with the fact.
Whoa.
Hey, Harry Styles is not invited to this. This song is actually the song I know the least about. I didn't even look up the analysis either. I'm
But
sorry.
we watched the music video and I almost cried because Cameron Boyce was in it.
Yes, I love this song.
Wait,
I
no,
just
that was
don't
it was it
understand
this
this song.
I think
Wait.
I think it was Almost that had Cameron Boyce in it.
Oh yeah, you know that.
It was
not
Almost.
this one.
Still sad.
But
Still sad.
I really love this song As It Was. I don't really understand it. I should probably look up an analysis. Kaylin, are you doing that right now?
No, I'm reading the lyrics.
But yeah, so I want to hear what your guys' opinions were on it, because I was kind of perplexed even looking at the lyrics.
Let's all look up an analysis. Haha.
I mean, no, I'm pretty sure it was about like a love that he was like yearning for. Hold on. But your love was unmoved, and tell me if somehow some of it remained. How long you would wait for me, and how long I've been away.
I did understand those lyrics, so that was like the only thing I knew about the
Your
song.
shape in the doorway make you. Here, I'll go to the chorus. And I knew its name: the drug, the dark, the light, the shame. The highs hit the high of my baby, and its hold had the fight of my baby, and the lights were as bright as my baby. But your love was unmoved. He repeats the chorus 3 times in this song, so it's actually not that deep lyrically, but you have to look at the chorus. The chorus is the most important part of the song. He repeats it 3 times. And he only has 2 verses,
What's
no
the
hook.
analysis say online?
I'm not looking. I'm looking at the lyrics. I thought you were looking it up, girl.
Fuck. Okay, I got you.
That was like the only lyric that I had any guess just looking at.
I mean, you could definitely find some people's opinions on it. Like, go to Reddit, bro.
Looks like he had been away
Go to
from someone for a
r/Hozier.
while. Yeah, I guess
It's
more
a song
so
about
it's
returning. It's from the point of the view of a person coming back to the person he loves. It's about reassuring somebody upon your returning, comparing all of the wonderful things you've experienced and being able to only compare how marvelous it was to this person you're talking to. There's
Self-explanatory.
a sense of foreboding to it as well. I didn't
Foreboding.
really get that.
That's a dumb
Oh,
word.
I'm not saying that it was bad. I'm saying he repeated the same chorus several times.
Because
But
he was
I'm
yearning
saying
for it.
the way he structured his sentences, I think they were so poetic and so good that I was having a tough time even understanding them. So
Yeah.
that's
Bro,
why.
and we watched his live performance. He was like, I was his dark.
And
He was
I'm
like
not,
on the
like,
mic, bro.
I'm not saying that it's not good. I'm just saying like my intellectual level,
Yeah.
like what
You were
my
like, we don't have any Pisces
And-
to
yeah,
help us.
yeah, I was
And I'm
like,
a
shit,
level
I don't know
below
what this
you,
means.
so I definitely went over my
It's okay.
head.
So now rereading the lyrics with what Kaylin just said, I can see that more because he's comparing the things that he experienced and how they were nothing compared to the love
He's like, I
that was
still want
unmoved.
to go back to this love that's still there for me. He's like, yeah, I've been to concerts, I've been to different countries, but like this love is still there.
Yeah.
I've seen it on a lot of romance playlists. So it's obviously a really good song. Still, it's just very, very deep and poetic. That like you kind of have a hard time like understanding it at first.
Yeah, Hozier, you got me there. it was good. It was really good. I just wasn't as smart to figure it out. The next song is Shrike.
I think it's so cute.
What did you guys think about Shrike?
That was another one that I only wrote a lyric to. I put remember me, love, when I'm reborn.
I thought like it gives me, I don't know, just the one that got away vibes. Like damn, I should have said something. And then it's like that analogy of being reborn. It gives you Phoenix vibes. Like, I will like, I didn't say it then, but if I ever get reborn, like in our next life, like I'll fucking say it then.
Well, I looked up the song and the analysis for it. It's actually about an abusive relationship. Do you guys know what a shrike is?
A bird?
Yes. How'd you know that?
Because she knows mythical creatures.
It's not a mythical creature. It's a
It's
real
like
guy.
knows. She just knows everything about animals.
Do you know what shrikes do?
What do they do?
They kill their prey on top of rose bushes. They use the thorns of the rose bushes to kill them.
Oh my god, he did.
So he says in the song, let me pull it up. As the shrike to your sharp and glorious thorn. So he's literally like illuminating, saying how amazing she is, as in this sharp, glorious thorn, right?
That gives me like medieval fantasy, like tale kind of vibes. Like, oh,
like if he's referring to her as this thorn, like this sharp thing that can hurt, you know what I'm saying? And like a shrike being a bird that uses that thorn to kill things, right? It's almost like he's saying that like he's so obsessed with her, wants to be with her so much that it's hard for him to see her true purpose, which is to kill the thing on the thorn. You know what I'm saying?
I'm just confused though, because it talks about like, I couldn't utter my love when it counted, but I'm singing like a bird about it now. I couldn't whisper when you needed it shouted, but I'm singing like a bird about it now. Like, I took it as like, I should have spoke up sooner. Like, I should have, confessed. And so I don't get those vibes of like toxic relationship until we do get to the literal thorn.
A lot of well, look, he says this too. He says, back to the hedge grows, back to the hedge rows where bodies are mounted. But I'm flying like a bird to you now. He literally says that she is the reason why people die, animals, right? Because they're getting mounted onto these thorns. But he's flying to her anyways, right? His songs a lot of his abusive songs talk about being so obsessed with the person he's with that it's hard to see the true nature of what they are, right? So like the thorns are being used, whether it's to kill these rodents with the bird doing it, or if people touch a rose and get cut by the thorns. So
it's still up to your interpretation, though, Kaylin. Like, music at the end of the day, even if an artist directly says what it's about, they usually say, like, the point of the song is for your interpretation, but they'll say, this is what my intentions were when I wrote it.
I'm just talking about what the intentions were when he wrote it, but his...
Ooh, like, okay, I read some more, and it said, like, these words hung above, but never would form like a cry at the final breath that is drawn. Remember me, love, when I'm reborn. I'm going to skip a few lines, and then it says, It says, then when I met you, my virtues uncounted, all of my goodness is going with you now. So I can see where he's like, oh my God, I'm so obsessed with you. And like, I should have spoke up sooner. Maybe that even led to her acting more toxic or like changing or like being whatever the toxicity is referencing in the song. And then it's like, he maybe is trying to return, but she's like, going in, or I don't know. Like,
I don't know. I definitely think it's more of she was just a toxic person. It's not at all
whatever relationship that they have.
Yeah, but think about this. A lot of the times in a toxic abusive relationship, whoever is the one that's being abusive and whoever's being the victim, they make the victim feel like it's their fault, right? So in the song, he's talking about like he wasn't enough, he wasn't doing enough, and that he should have went after her the way she was expecting him to, or been with her the way she was expecting him to. But at the end of the day, the symbolism is showing that she's not like this healthy person to be with, and it makes sense that he constantly didn't feel good enough. I don't think it actually had any validity on whatever abusive partner he was with. I think they were being abusive.
Oh, I wasn't trying to validate it. I was saying that, like, in one of the interpretations, because the very first line is, I should have, like, said more, I should have done more.
But that's what I'm saying.
So I'm saying it's, like, more of a theory. I'm not saying it is. It's, like, what if, like, because he didn't say something, what if animosity grew and toxicity grew?
Yeah, but I don't think that's what the meaning of the song is. I think he's definitely, like, throughout the song, it's just his constant wanting to go back to her and to do more for her and be there for her is him showing that through being a victim, like, it was never enough for her, and she was constantly making it feel like he was the problem.
I believe that.
She is the symbolism in the song that is the thing that's bad. Do you know what I'm saying?
I believe that, yeah. I was just letting you know that, like, I wasn't definitely saying it. I was just throwing it out there. I was like, maybe.
Yeah. But I love the way Shrike sounds. I think it's good. It's not one of my favorites, but I didn't know anything about the bird before I actually looked it up. So the next song is one of my favorites, and it's called Talk. So
I wrote down, I won't deny I've got in my mind now all of the things we do, so I'll try to talk refined for feet that you might find out how I'm imagining you. I was like,
for fear?
For fear, sorry. Why did I write for feet? Shut up. That song, literally, like, I'm so funny. It was so funny because when I came home and you told me about this, I was like, actually, I was just listening to that song today at work again, and I was thinking about it. And this man, he was like, I will put on a fucking show, look all piss and proper for you, but if you knew what the fuck was going on through my brain right now, if you knew how I was actually imagining you, I was like, Yeah, that's basically what he said. He was like, I'll act all proper now, but, if you could see, like, how I'm actually imagining you during this conversation. Yeah, I liked that one. It was good.
Did you know the mythology references he was making in the song?
Orpheus?
Yeah.
Like this, like Orpheus, Eurydice, several of them.
There's a
No.
couple of them.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't tell you all the myths, but so the reason he gets so poetic in the first 2/3 of this song is because the song is supposed to be directed as a person approaching another person, and really like think of it Knight of Cups, like very much like a verbally affirming them, like complimenting them, like telling them how much their beauty is, like making them fall in love with them, or stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, but the true intentions is that he does not have real feelings for the person he's going after. He just wants to have sex with them.
Mm-hmm.
So all the mythology that he references are love stories between people who did intense feats for one another to continue the relationship. And when he says, "I'd be the voice that urged Orpheus when her body was found," Orpheus, have you heard about the story of Orpheus? His wife dies and he goes down to hell and plays his little lyre, and he convinces Hades with his amazing song that, well, if you play this song and you walk out of hell and you don't look back, like don't turn back to see if your wife's behind you, then your wife will be able to live again. I'll give you your wife's soul again. And Orpheus is like, hell yeah. So he plays this song, he's walking out of hell, but like the temptation of turning around is too much that by the end, right before he walks out of hell, he turns around just to make sure she's there, and she's there as a ghost, and she dissipates, and she doesn't get to come back to Earth because he fucked up, right?
Bitch.
That was Hades' little deal with him. So the whole point of referencing that is he's saying, I would go to hell to find you, bring you back because I'm so in love with you. But he's saying all these mythological, compliments as a lie, which is why he says...
He even says it, he's like, I'd be the last shred of truth in the lost myth of true love.
Yeah, when he says...
every time he's referencing
So I try to talk refined for fear that you'll find out how I'm imagining you. So he's talking refined because he's like, I don't want you to know why I'm actually thinking about you, and it's because I want to fuck the shit out of you.
So...
And every single time he says, imagine being loved by me in that song, I was like...
I know, I was like, girl...
Where's the
Pull my
line,
panties
though?
down.
And I don't mean this argumentatively. I mean this educationally. Like, where's the line that, that means player? Because,
that's what it means.
It is.
No, but, let's say you love my life. Let's say it's, fucking, everything about you that I like, and I'm being refined and proper and shit. But, not only am I interested in, dating you, maybe, potentially, being in a serious relationship with you. If I'm attracted to you, I'm probably going to also check you out.
He's speaking realistically. That's the thing. He's not speaking this perfect love story where I love you so much I would never think of you like that. He's speaking realistic. This is the human body.
I'm just saying that if let's say I was still dating, in the dating scheme, and I met someone that I wanted to go out with and be serious with, I would be checking them out like that. It'd be you don't want to think about what I'm thinking about. It's too soon for that.
Yeah, I guess it's just more so the intentions underneath it, which funny thing is, anybody else sing a song like this, I'd be like, man whore, player,
Yeah, it's still it still teeters the line of toxicity. We're not saying
his
he's
songs
the perfect
are
gentleman.
about his songs, there's multiple songs about toxicity, abuse, obsession, and these are one of those songs where he's like, I am obsessed with you, but not the way that you think I am, even though I'm telling you that I am. So yes, it's wrong. It's not that it's right that
but
he's
I think
telling this
it's a
person
natural human body is what he's doing. That's a natural response that you would do.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it would need some check. It needs some morality. Yes. I think that's what I like about his songs.
You could see a hot man and be like, I'd fuck him.
I know. Well, I'm demisexual, so I still couldn't.
Yeah, but we would still say something like that.
Yeah. But I thought this song was so attractive. Kaylin, later, if you have the time, I would look up the references that he talks about so that you can
understand
when you
it more.
read Orpheus, for example, when he says, I'd be the voice that urged Orpheus when her body was found, she was found dead, right? So if he said, I'd be the voice that urged Orpheus, he's saying, I would be the person that urged Orpheus to go to hell for you. Or the voice in Orpheus's head, right? Because you're that important. Because I would go back, I'd go into hell, travel to hell to go get your body back, right? So if you go through the song again and you maybe look up the things you don't understand, you might understand more of the mythology and the lore behind it. And then you'll see, wow, he's making such dramatic ass love, proclamations of love. And then he's out here saying, but
But if you could see actually,
you can see the things
he's
I'm
not
thinking
saying
about.
that he's not saying that he doesn't love her to that extreme. He is saying like, I do love you to that extreme, but also like,
Oh, I don't
there's a
think so.
There's a little dirty spot in my mind.
That's how I took it, but also I think all sides are valid. I'll have to go do my homework on
think
the
it
song.
When
makes
I
it
read his
both.
analysis, he said it's lying to somebody. He said, no,
Yeah.
I'm saying that stuff.
And I think
because
that's realistic. I mean, I'm sure that you've been with someone that you might have like manipulated for something. Like, I'm not saying that we have, but I'm saying like it's a normal human experience in this world to be with someone for certain reasons.
Yes. The cool thing is though, even though that's what the song is about, which is lying to somebody to have sex with them, as we've said before, if you like this song, you can take it as somebody wants you so bad and they want to tell you how much they love you, but at the same time, they feel a little maybe embarrassed about thinking how
if you
much they
interpret it
wanna
both
fuck
ways,
you.
I could say like, yeah, I love you so much, but also like there's a little dirty seed in my mind. But
Yeah,
also I
like
can see
you
it as
can
like
take it personally like that.
I
I
can
don't
also
care.
see it as manipulation. Like I'm saying, I think it's a human experience to experience both of those feelings. So he's just writing the human experience.
Yeah,
I can respect.
He's like, this is how I felt, this is how I wrote the song. But if you want to feel that way about the song, there's nothing wrong
like,
about it.
Maybe there was a person he genuinely was like, I just want to fuck you, so I'm manipulating the situation.
Yeah, at the end of the day, when people are listening to music too, if it resonates with a certain spot of their life, hearing those words, then that's just how it's gonna be.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just autistic, so I'm like, all right, guys, but this is how he wrote the song.
This is how the author intended it.
You can think whatever you want because there are songs I listen to that apparently aren't about love and they're actually about Ireland and like the colonization of Ireland. And I was like, oh,
it's okay.
So, which is really cool. But when I listen to that song, I think of love. So next song is B. What did you guys think about
I
it?
wrote down with the same sweet shock of when Adam first came. Because I thought that was hilarious when I first heard it. I said, did I catch that right? And I actually have seen, I was like, did I catch that? And I looked at the lyrics, and there was a tweet where somebody asked him where he came up with that, and he was like, I genuinely just imagined the shock that he had to feel from having that built up tension.
So when you said that, Mariah, I was like, this song, I'm not saying it can't be about sex, but this song is more so about choosing to love as a transgression or transgressive, whatever word is correct.
Mm-hmm. But that line
in
exists.
the face of evil, like to choose to be a loving, emotional human being instead of succumbing to the evil world around us.
Yeah,
like
obviously not about sex. It's just like that metaphor was a very clever metaphor because you're right. Imagining the first man having come for the first time.
What about with the first woman too?
Not thinking about like
when he was here first.
Like he was there first, so therefore it's like the first person.
Well, did he come by himself? Did he jack off by himself? Is that what
maybe
you're saying?
he did. Just the idea of like.
And then God was like, "Damn, he need a buddy."
Obviously we're a woman.
Give me a rib,
but
real
imagine
quick,
being
man.
even just like a young man, a child in the world right now, like coming for the first time, and you're like, "What the fuck was that?" Now imagine being the first person to ever do that, and
It
you're
would
like,
feel the exact same way. I would argue.
"What the fuck is that?" But you didn't. But like, I feel like as a 14-year-old boy, you have an idea of what it is. So you're not as shocked.
Oh, you're right. You're like,
it's the initial shock of it.
You got a point. In the song, it also says, "Be as you've always been. Be like the love that discovered the sin." Which to me is giving off vibes of like, I know this isn't exactly what it means, but it's giving off vibes of like the love that discovered the sin, like, you know, fucking around, you know.
Also, like, even Adam, like, fucking around the apple.
Yeah.
So.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says be that hopeful feeling when Eden was lost.
Yeah.
Lots of references.
I liked
to
this
Adam
one.
and
It was a
I
catchy one.
love his religious references because they're always about not actually believing in God and just putting his own spin on how he takes religion.
Yeah, he uses them as metaphors often.
I
It's
love it
easy to
so
do.
much. It makes me feel good. Like, Take Me to Church, which is not on this album, but you know, I just like how he disrespects the Bible and does whatever he wants with the imagery he sees. Like, he takes the symbolism and he uses it to expand on other things he wants to talk about, you know?
Yeah, I would argue that, like, Lil Nas X did that with Montero because the whole album was themed around religion, and I saw a Instagram post about it. It was like, you know, you tell us to go to hell, and then when you get mad when we go to hell, because the whole music video was shot with him falling from heaven and going into hell. And it's playing with the Bible. It's like turning it into art, you know?
Mm-hmm. I agree.
What's your mic, girly?
Huh?
Your mic.
Is there anything else you guys feel about B, or was it
Nah,
one of your
next
favorite
one.
songs?
Oh, B was really catchy to me. It was. I don't know if I would say it was my favorite. Like my top. Like if I had to pick my top three, you had a gun to my head.
Didn't have a ton to
Yeah,
say
I
about
don't
it.
I'm gonna
think
ask
I
you
would
at the
say
end 'cause
it.
I want to know. Yeah, B is a good one, not one of my favorites.
But
though.
it was a good one. Yeah.
What do you think, Kayla?
Obviously, I was like,
It did have a lot to say.
B.
It's not one of your favorites? Okay. Well, the next song, which is one of my favorites, is Dinner and Diatribes.
What's a diatribes? Every time I read it, I
some sort of
accidentally read
conversations that you don't want to be in, like a meaningless conversation. Look up the meaning.
Maybe it's like, when you're stuck talking to someone out of being nice, but you can't tell them to fuck off,
A forceful and bitter verbal attack against someone or something.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, so it's similar.
We watched a music video for this, and Homeboy had his hair slicked back. Kinsey was pissed.
I said, don't do that,
it gives me family dinner vibes where, like, aunts and, family members will personally take jabs at you, but they'll do it in a way that is purposely attacking you in front of anybody, but they don't really explicitly say it, so they can't get in trouble for it, and if you start a fight, then you're the sensitive one. It gives me those vibes. Dinners and diatribes.
Did this song give you that?
No, I'm saying that word, diatribes. Like, I'm trying to figure out what the word meant. Mm-hmm. So when paired with the word dinner and diatribes, I'm picturing an uncomfortable environment where, like, we're fighting, but, like, we're also having dinner, so it's like I'm just shooting these invisible missiles at you,
Uh-huh. Oh, what did you guys think about this song?
I gotta read it again.
The one lyric I did have written down was where he had I'd suffer hell if you tell me what you do to me tonight.
God.
And when he slowed it down, he was like, now that the evening's slowing, now that the end's in sight, honey, it's easier knowing what you do to me tonight.
Oh, let there be damage ensued in tabloid news. That's the kind of love.
Yeah, and I love
that's the kind of love I've been dreaming of.
I loved his vocals every time he said that part of the chorus, like the way he drug out his lyrics and his words when he would say like the that's the kind of dream I've been thinking of, and the way he said it every time was perfect.
Yeah, when I was
the melody for this one was really nice too.
Yeah, I love the melody of this one. The song, it's very much vibey. You put it on, you want to stomp around. Is how I feel. Mm-hmm. One of the lyrics I had written down was, "Tell me you're mad. That's the kind of love I'm dreaming of." Like mad for him, like crazy for him. So the overall song, I don't know if you noticed, Kaylin and Mariah, was about being at a dinner party with your partner's friends, maybe even family that you don't really want to be around, or maybe they're boring or insufferable. But like the whole night, you're only like, I
want to get you back to my room. Like,
yes, your only hope or like patience is coming from how much you want to be with your partner alone, like to fuck around with them. And it's so hot because he's saying he would go to walk to hell if it meant he got to spend a night with her.
In every situation in your entire life where you've had to sit through an uncomfortable situation, and I'm not talking about like a person with any sort of lack of confidence that wouldn't stand up for themselves, because that's a different situation. You'll sit through anything at that point. Like, if let's say it's a family that like is so toxic, you're like, okay, at this point I'm not coming to Thanksgiving. Like, I don't fucking care. Or work parties, whatever. Like, if you don't have something on the line, you're not going to sit through that stuff.
That's going to be me post-famous.
Me
so
too.
I'm saying like let's say you had to go to some stupid work party and you don't care about anybody there, but you're like, dang, I don't want to like lose my job and everybody has to go or whatever. Like I'm trying to get this promotion. There's something on the line, and like in this sense, he's only sitting through this for her. Like,
I know, and he's so willing to. He's like, if I only got to sit through this dinner this easy, because I'd walk to hell for you to be alone with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I also like that the kind of love he wants. It's like it's giving me a little bit like we're gonna stir shit up, you know what I mean? Like the tabloid thing, the be mad for me. There's a lot of it seems like some firecracker love, like really poppy. I don't know if that's right.
Like he's like, I'm willing to go to any length. So if that meant drama with tabloids, if that meant upsetting people, like I don't give a fuck because you taste so good.
Yeah.
I know this is kind of like for multiple ones of his songs, but we've talked about before several times in the podcast, like how attractive and like compelling the way he talks about love is and stuff like that. But another thing that I love is just like this man talks about being seduced or seducing another person so deeply. Like, yeah, we talked about like the the sweet parts of love, how he's so hopelessly in love with somebody. But when he's talking about sex, that man
it's
turns
not like
feral.
mainstream music. It's not the fuck bitches get money
it's
song.
It's not. It's I literally like having sex with you is like having nectar from the gods. Like it's like like the way he describes it, he's feral for it. Yes. He's obsessed with it. It's the only thing he wants.
About it so boldly. Like, yes, that is true. That is what we want to hear. That is what I want. I want you to hear that being in love with me is literally like you would go through hell. You would do everything just to be with me.
Well, just even be my presence.
Even though he's very passionate and intense about it, it doesn't come across as disrespect as in like other songs. Because in other songs, it's purely power and using you.
No,
and
this man is on his hands and knees begging for you.
This is art. This is like greater.
amazing comments, guys. Absolutely. It's like when you hear mainstream media talking about sex or wanting a woman's body, it's so like touch booby, grab booby, touch ass, put dick in pussy, right? But when he talks about sex with a person, it gets to this like spiritual level for me where it's like, yes, sex with an attractive woman obviously it isn't horrible, but that's not what he's talking about when he talks about these songs. He's like, it's the sex with you. He's like, you intoxicate me. Like, who you are, like what you're made up of is what turns me on so much, and that's why I want to touch you. That's why I want to touch you in those areas that people can't just touch you in. Like, obviously, the sexual one.
Because, you know, there's even songs in mainstream media that talk about, like, you know, you don't got game or this pussy good, like, whatever. Like, I'm just saying that, like, they don't even describe good sex to, like, the level that he describes it. Like, very spiritual, like you described.
Yes.
Out of
body. I've been saying earlier in the podcast that it just feels like it's written by a woman. It feels like, in my opinion, what sex should be.
He wrote it for women.
Yes, he did. And he knows what we want.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? It's not that women aren't horny or can't be very horny. It's like, it's how we go about sex. We don't take it so transactional. We don't take it so much like using somebody's body. Like, I feel like the way mainstream media talks about sex just feels so like, almost like there's products on my body that men want to try out, if that makes sense. It's not that they want to be present with me, having sex with me, enjoying.
Yeah, because it is out of body. Like, the act of, you know, doing that, it's a lot more mental than it is. Like, physical part is what also.
I think
like, it's hand in hand.
You gotta have that mental stimulation for the physicality to feel spiritual. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, exactly.
So in his songs, he writes that mental part that is, you know, not included.
That
in
is
the other
happening.
ones.
Yes, that is included with, you know, the respectful version of sex.
And when you have that, and it's so funny because it's like respectful, but in the most dirtiest way. Like, he is saying how much he wants
it's passion, and it's like intense still. That's why I said I'm not taking that part out when I say when I say respectful, I definitely don't mean like nerdy.
He's like, I respectfully want to do you dirty.
Yeah, I respectfully want to bend you over.
Some guts and Costco shit.
Yes,
I respectfully want to bend you over until you're begging for me to stop. Thank you.
And like, like literally. Oh my God. Yes. So I really love it.
Oh, good sir.
Oh, good sir. But anyways, I think that's why one of the things of what I really like about his music is how he talks about sex, and he doesn't just do one song, right? He does like multiple, and like we said, Pisces should
only be allowed to write love songs, and I also said that Virgo should only be allowed to write intricate films and books.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh my God, Dave was a screenplay writer and a script writer. That's so funny.
Yeah. It makes sense. But moving on from that sexy song is. Which is
also one of my favorites.
This one is my favorite.
That song made me feel like you know that TikTok like theme where people were like screaming the lyrics like aggressively where they weren't singing in tone. This one made me feel like, you know what I'm talking about, that TikTok trend. People were like screaming the fucking lyrics out of tone. Like, this song made me feel like it. When he came up and he said, "Truth that I saw her hair like a branch."
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And I'm like, I love it. And at the end when he was fucking going in, like, I wanted you to scream the lyrics. Like, when he's sitting here, he's like, I can't think of the chorus all of a sudden.
I'll pull up the chorus.
I also liked at the end when he put though I've handled the wood, I still worship the flame as long as ember glows.
He says, but that's not tonight.
Literally, I would scream. I'd be like, but that's not tonight. I want to scream it, bro. The song makes me so hyped for no reason.
Yeah, I also I've been exploring lots of music because now that I'm actually allowed to listen to music at work again, I am kind of like coming into dead ends with my current playlist that I've been venturing out a lot. And the song was introduced to me on TikTok when it was a popular audio, and it was Aragorn from Lord of the Rings telling Frodo, I would have gone with you to the fires of Mordor. Like, so it was that guitar. So it already has like medieval vibes. Okay, so it's already on the playlist of every medieval bitchy out here that likes, you know, folky music. But then when I actually heard the song and listened to it, and like there's lots of references of, I still would say, fantasy vibes. It talks about war and fighting, and then it's like, that's not tonight though. Like,
bro, I just want to scream those like obsessively for no reason.
Did you guys?
It's like putting your swords down to, like, you know, be in love tonight. You know.
Well, did you know what the song was about with the trees and the fire symbolism?
He mentioned wood a lot and would compare that, like, all the wood that I've loved is long ago.
Yeah. So what he was talking about is he's surrounded by these trees. and they were representing his past loves, like people he's been in love with. And this new fire requires the wood to be lit, right? The new fire is the person who represents his new interest, right? The new person he's falling in love with. But to keep the fire aflame, he has to cut the trees down and, feed the fire, right? Almost like burn away those past loves, burn away the importance of them. So he's got lines like, fell in love with the fire long ago, thought I've handled the wood, I will worship the flame. Wait, though I've handled the wood, it was though I have handled the wood, I will worship the flame. Long as amber of embers glow, all the wood that I've loved is long ago.
Yeah, that's the line. I love that line.
Are gone because I'm using that experience and love that I've learned from them to fuel this fire, not to live in the past with those.
Yeah, and I think I'm a very strong believer in that, like, and it depends. There's still people who end up with our high school sweethearts that, like, it works out. But, like, I think
I'm a big believer in breaking up with those bitches. Every freshman I met in college, I'd be like, break up with them. I know you think you love them. Break up with them. There's some people in this world you don't know.
It's just like high school. You don't even know yourself. And a relationship is dating around.
I'm so sorry.
Dating around in high school is fine because you're still learning those lessons. But, like, you're not even fully a person
unless you
yet.
met your soulmate.
Like, and I am a firm believer too that if you break up with a high school lover and you learn through like expanding as a person that you could be with them again, cool. Yeah. But I actually think 9.8 times out of 10 that doesn't work. I think you leave them and you keep turning into the person you're supposed to be.
I told so many freshmen, like, maybe they are the love of your life, maybe you do love them, but like, I don't want this person holding you back because they'll come to me when I'm an upperclassman.
Just break up with someone just because you left.
They'll be freshmen, I'm upperclassman, they're like, I just don't know, like we were arguing a lot and now we're separated, but like I love him and like he's off at college and I just like get worried, like, and the second they say like I don't trust him, break up with him.
Yeah, you gotta know the situation.
The point I'm making is that, like, I think of my first relationship, and I was one of those freshman girlies with their high school boyfriend still, and thankfully it wasn't by my choice. It ended, and I was sad. But then it's like I look back and I'm like, if I was still in that relationship, even if let's say it got better or healthy or whatever,
I just don't want to stunt someone's growth.
Hold on, I was gonna say I would not be the person I am today, and it's not even like it taught me lessons. I'm saying that it would have been this invisible wall in between me becoming the highest potential version of myself, core me, like 100% me, because I basically was an extension of this person. It was more like 50-50, and I hadn't unlocked who I could have been 100%. And so what I was trying to say with the wood, like he's handling the wood, and they are all of the things that he's learned. Let's say you've fucked up and you've had toxic relationships, or you learned from those mistakes that you made, and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to use what I've learned from my past relationships to treat this fire and so help it burn.
The whole song from beginning to end is talking about these trees around him, the act of cutting them down, and a flame being born, and then having to keep the flame alive, and at the end believing that the flame can keep burning and not think like, because there is this fear in the song of being like, what if the flame goes out? What if it wasn't worth the wood kind of vibe to keep it going? And he's like, but that's when he says, fell in love with the fire long ago. He also talks about worshiping the flame. What did he say? Something about worshiping the flame. He's like, that doesn't matter anymore because I worship the flame. So he's put like all of his faith and love into this flame, aka new lover, to keep believing in. So I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. The way I took which I was having a conversation with all of us after knowing what the song means, because I actually didn't 100% fully understand the wood. But the way I took it the first time I read it, when he says friendly fire, but that was long ago, I took it as like a previous lover, and then like they fought, they've had toxic moments, but he's saying that's not tonight. And
I took the first time I heard the song, that's what I thought he was talking about the same person, like past lover that we argued, but not tonight. I'm loving you. I think it can be interpreted in both ways. I think it can be
that's
that.
how I took it, even though now I understand what the wood is for, and I do believe that this is the
I actually think the fire when it first started is the love that, okay, think about this. The wood, I think, represents all of his past lovers. I don't think it represents the current person. I think the fire that he started having issues at first, right? His most recent
friendly
love,
fire,
that he walked away from, and then realized, no, this fire is worth working on, and came back to it. So it's still the current love, but maybe a love
like
he
it's
took
not.
a
That's
break
what I'm
from.
saying. The first time I heard it, I felt like it was like when I saw you before, it was like this not good chemistry thing.
Yes.
But not
He hadn't
tonight.
cut down the
Not
trees.
tonight. We're getting there.
Exactly.
Do you get it? Maybe he didn't work out with the fire at first, because the trees still existed. She's
Yeah.
like, bitch, I need these logs if you want to keep me going. And he's like, I don't know if I can cut those trees down yet. And then he
Because
walks
you
away.
hadn't grown as a person, and
Yes.
you need to go have the wood.
Yes, and
like
in the song, it literally says the trees know the sound of the
saw.
saw. So
Yeah.
it was in that moment that he made the decision, like, I'm going to have to cut down these trees if I want to keep this fire alive. And
Yeah.
he comes back to his love, and he's like, okay, and he burns them logs.
Yeah, literally that line you said, the one where he's like, but that's not tonight, made me think like, oh, he's like, not tonight though, we getting it.
What do you think he means not tonight, Kinsey?
I was talking about how lighting the flame is a sense of having to have hope in this new love. So he was talking about like basically the fear of the fire not lasting. And he said, but that's not tonight. When I'm set alight and I blink inside, your blinding light. Oh, that's not tonight when you hold me tight. Kind of like I believe.
So I'm not going to fear.
Yeah, I'm not going to be afraid. I'm just going to burn. Because think about it. If you burn tons of trees, and let's say these trees matter to you, and the fire ends up going out anyways, you'd be like, why did I cut those trees down? Why did I do that for? If the fire wasn't even going to last.
Mm-hmm.
So he says that when he's in the presence of this flame, it sets him alight. And he says, that's not going to be tonight. We're not going to not believe tonight if I'm set alight. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's still my favorite. I actually learned even more about it, like having a conversation about it. But yeah, really good song.
I love the song. Anything else about it, Mariah? Why are
Nope.
you dissociating? No? Okay, cool. Well, the next song is my absolute favorite. I told you it's almost tied with No Plan because I love the way No Plan sounds, but I literally feel like I have a spiritual awakening when I listen to this song, and it is Sunlight.
I was telling you, man, that chorus, like, I think the first time I heard someone properly use a chorus was probably like Nick Jonas pulling up number. It was probably something before that, but like something about artists that have like that chorus vibe, like it literally feels like the sun rays are hitting me, and it's like sunlight.
You're talking about like a church chorus, is what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like something about it, man, it hits differently. And I'm sitting here like, my soul is leaving my body, and I am now Icarus.
This is the song.
I've always known this is your like one of your favorite songs too, up there with the Movement. Like this is another
Yeah.
one I would hear you play a lot.
Well, this is a song that I think completely defines spiritual love, in my opinion, like having a spiritual connection with somebody. What do you think, Kaylin?
You know, I remember you had done an art project similar.
It was horrible.
Oh.
Okay, let's restart that because the fans don't have to know that it was horrible.
All right, cool.
It was still a great
cool.
idea.
It was great.
Cut that. I remember, Kinsey, when you were doing an art project on this with like the symbolism of the moth to the flame, and like talking about like being completely drawn to this person, but like you know it's dangerous for a moth to get close to the flame. So to me, it gives a little bit of like, I love you so much, but it's like slightly toxic.
Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna tell you what the actual song means, and then what I take from the song, because I don't give a fuck at the end of the day. So the song actually does refer to toxic love in the sense of you are willing to destroy yourself. You're willing to fall to your death knowing that you were going to
And
anyways.
unfortunately, we do tend to like the toxic love.
Yeah, yes. But like this person was willing to fly so close to the sun just to feel the warmth of the sun and then know that they would die, right? So it does talk about toxic love, but let's forget about that.
Let's imagine it isn't toxic.
Next, this is how I feel when I listen to the song. I feel like the person singing this song, like the main character, the narrator, is saying that they love the person so much that they're willing to go through pain to be with them, or they'd rather love than to never love, right?
Yes.
To love and lose, love and lost, or whatever the fuck.
Oh,
Yeah,
Than
the pain
to
of
never
love, then never even experience it.
Yeah, and I was like, if you found a love that intense, wouldn't you do it anyways if
Yes.
it made you feel that way? I would.
Yes.
Some people could say that's toxic. I don't care. And I think it's the way he feels.
Those people don't have a Scorpio Lilith, so they don't get it.
They don't fucking get it. They don't get it. It's like if you actually love somebody, you would do. I'm not saying I'd kill myself. Yeah. I'm saying that I would go through the pain of being with somebody and never love again if I got to experience that pure of love.
I think Hozier speaks to my 7th house Pisces.
Yeah, dude, it's like when you hear Pisces, remember, okay, I'm not religious, guys, but Jesus was a Pisces. And if we look at like this, if we look at the symbolism of the Bible and what Jesus represents is unconditional love. Like literally, I love you with your flaws. I love you with your things you're good at. I love you all around. I don't care what people think you should be. I don't care what people think.
Yeah, he loves with no explanation. He's like, I don't care if you have bad, if you have sin, if you have good. I love you for being you.
Yes, like you could never love me in return. Don't care. I
Yeah.
still love you.
Yes.
So when I hear this song and I hear that like religious like chorus feeling, it's almost like believing in a God, like you are more important than God. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the vibes I get when listening to this song. And the several lyrics are good too. Do you have any responses before I mention my favorite lyrics?
I talked about it really heavily with you, and I don't remember what I was saying when we talked about it. It's okay.
Do you have anything? Yeah, like obviously I want you to take the Hozier lyrics as he means it both ways, and it's a healthy thing, even though the song means toxic. But I see what you're saying.
Yes.
Please
cut that, Mariah.
My favorite lyrics. There's several, so you'll have to listen to them all, guys.
Okay.
But whose heart would not take flight? Betray the moon as acolyte on
I love
first
that one.
in fierce affirming sight of sunlight. Literally saying that he was devoted to the moon, but when he had met her, or whomever they are, he had completely
When he met
changed.
the sun.
Yeah. He completely changed, who his ally was, who he was working with, and it was her. He was like, I would, like, completely lose my position of, what's the word?
I imagine this song, like, we all know I'm not very vulnerable, but I imagine that this song is like how I would be without my vulnerability with my Scorpio placements.
Just loving somebody,
just
like,
imagine that
endlessly.
It scares the shit out of me, but yes, that's how I imagine myself. Like, if the vulnerability, like, obviously, I don't think it goes down 100%, you know. I'm sure you're not 100, I know you're not 100% vulnerable with the person you love. But I feel like if I was to be, that it would be that equivalence. Like, I would literally drop all lines to be obsessed with you and, like, accept the pain just to love you.
Yep.
And that scares me.
I'm picturing
I got a gold star for
that
that
lyric. He's with another woman, and like, okay, you're cool,
Yeah.
you're pretty, like, you hit the right marks, but then like maybe another woman enters his life for the first time.
Yeah, the moon could
and it's
represent
like
that.
completely head turn, like, which is kind of like, yeah, cheating's not good, but like, even though that is like technically considered cheating, if you're not compatible with the person, or like, let's say like they were to stay together, if you are not like 100% devoted or crazy about that girl, you should just break up with her. Like, don't treat her like that. Don't, like, pretend like you should just not be with her, even if you don't get with the sunlight. Like, don't waste that other girl's time. That's what I was trying to say.
I love that theory. I actually think it's really good, and I'm not saying it's wrong. He did mention the lyrics before, talking about how he says, I would shun the light, share in evenings cool and quiet. Who would trade that hum of night for sunlight, sunlight, sunlight? So he's saying that he loved his solitude and his quietness, but maybe that could have also been him with whoever he was with, somebody that's more chill, quiet. You know what I'm saying? But he said, obviously, as soon as he actually experienced sunlight, which is not just light, but warmth as well, he, switched up on them. But yeah, I actually like that theory, even though when I first every time I've listened to the song, I've seen it more as a person that chooses isolation or loneliness instead of, being with other people. I bet he's even come into contact with other people.
That, like, you maybe not believing in love or not believing in true love. Maybe
he
like you're just going about life, like you've had girlfriends, but you don't believe in like the one, until
I think he could have came into contact with other people and didn't care for them, so he chose more so loneliness until he came across sunlight, right?
I like
It's
that
like
one.
I was saying, that vulnerability thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The next lyric I wrote down is, I had been lost to you, flew like a moth to you, oh sunlight, 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 which you had mentioned that one. And I love the moth's symbolism. It actually was my favorite lyric when I first heard the song, because I was like, that is so fucking good. Like, moths cannot, like, they're made to be at night. Like, they are made to be nocturnal animals. So the fact that they are so attracted to light, they're not supposed to be. They're supposed to be animals that are...
Which is so funny, because you see a moth in the daylight, they chillin'. They just sit there and they absorb all that warmth.
Yeah.
And then in the night,
but in the night,
they're craving it. They're seeking it. That's why they go crazy.
It's also, like, I think in the sunlight, they're sleeping. They're not awake. But at night, like, they don't see that light any other time when they're awake. And I think it, like, enthralls them. Like, there's, like, if you look at moths, the way that they jitter around light, like, them bitches are excited, okay? They don't know it's going to kill them, but they're like, holy shit, this is amazing, So, like, using that symbolism of him feeling that way towards somebody, like, he's drawn to them, even though he shouldn't be. He should be a nocturnal animal, not getting eaten up by bats or something,
Yeah, it's another play on that. Layers, man. Like, I'm devoted to the moon. I'm a creature of the night. Like, fuck.
And then he's like, but as soon as I see that light, just like a moth, bitch, I'm walking right up to it. He says, all that was shown to me, sunlight, was something foreknown to me, sunlight. Like, when he sees sunlight, it's something he never knew, but instantly recognized when he sees it. And that line in itself is, all these lines really, but like, so I've been mentioning spiritual love in the songs, and I'm meaning that because I feel like when you meet somebody and you feel like you've known them even though you've never met them, that's what that line describes to me. All that was shown to me, sunlight, was something foreknown to me. And then your love is sunlight. obviously that's very direct. We already knew that the sunlight was their love, but when he said that, I was like, because sunlight like makes things grow, you know, brings happiness. It's bright, blah blah blah. Like, you know.
Sorry, I was saying I feel like the song really represented like my vulnerabilities for me. I'm sure like even in a sense of what he's talking about, like I've felt this like intense love that makes me so vulnerable that I'm like drawn to. Obviously, it's a good thing to be vulnerable, but like it's scary to fly towards the sun.
I love when Mariah has been talking about her vulnerability on for these songs, because I feel like there's a part of you that you're talking about, even though I know your Scorpio self has secrets, that is seeping out a little bit that I feel like is important. That loving somebody that way is good for you, you know. Obviously,
like it scares the shit out of me, but I would say that there's a sense of like
safety,
earning that like intensity, like that love, that the safety. You're right, it is like a kind of safety. Like I found someone who like understands me, who's all for me, who I'm there for them, and it's this like compatibility that's like so unimaginable, or like you can't really put words to it. Like obviously Hozier tries to, and sometimes he be hitting the key.
Honestly, I feel like he's
sometimes he ascends past my intelligence level.
But I would say that there are moments where it's like I'm not myself not able to put into words like how I interpret like love is. And it is like, as Scorpio, feeling very deeply, like it is an intense deep thing, and I don't know how to put it in verbiage like how I imagine falling in love
I also
is.
see you as like you're nurturing it, and you're not giving it out just to anybody, because you understand like
the power.
Yeah, exactly, how powerful it is. And when you do come across that right person, it's like the power behind releasing it and like being
I
drawn
agree.
to
And
them.
I feel like my personal self, like my emotions for me are like lock and key, like they are very intense. So like that idea of giving it to someone is a very like intimate thing.
Man, a lot of my friends in college I met, like you have to sit there, you have to like fucking pound their head into the wall about like, you know, no, he's not good for you, or like not into you, whatever it is. And it's like, you're the one friend I met where you're like,
bro,
no,
you gotta
I don't
work
just give
for
this
that
out.
key.
Like, yeah.
The next line is, oh, and these colors fade for you only. Hold me, carry me slowly, my sunlight. Oh, all these colors fade for you only. Which I find so fucking romantic. I'm not singing it, obviously, right now on the podcast. But, like, when he's singing that fucking bridge.
Your rock.
God damn it. When he's singing those words, he slows down the song purposely. And it's just like,
I love when they do that
the
shit.
amount of pleasure he gets from like describing that love, that he's like, you know, they only fade for you. Like, all of this is only because of you. I don't feel this way. I don't act this way with anybody else. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. And
you're such a like deep romantic person. Like the more we're analyzing this, like I'm like, that's you.
Well, I do have my Sun and Venus in the 5th house, which is about romance, in case you didn't know that.
And I have 2 Pisces houses.
All right, Miss Mariah.
Well, we just found, we had just had that realization that I had 2 Pisces placements, because I also have 2 Virgo placements, but it doesn't happen often that people have 2 houses in the same sign.
Well, you have 2 houses, not placements.
I'm a rarity.
You know what I meant.
Anyways.
I'm a rarity.
You are. The next one is, each day you'd rise with me, know that I would gladly be the Icarus to your certainty. Oh, sunlight, sunlight, sunlight. So it's like he's saying each day you'd wake up with me. Only me, I'd always be there for you, and I'd be the Icarus to your certainty, aka it's always known in the story that Icarus gets up and he flies too close to the sun because he wants to, because he's so excited. Like, nothing holds him back, no person, no logic, you know, his father telling him like hundreds of times, don't fly too close to the sun, I've told you how this fucking, you know, his Virgo asked how this fucking works, and Icarus, being a Libra, was like, I don't care, and he flew up to the sun, you know. Then he says, strap the wing to me, death trap clad happily. With wax melted, I'd meet the sea under sunlight, sunlight, sunlight. So he says, strap that fucking wing to me, bitch. I'm going to go fly out there. I'm going to melt in front of that sun, and I'm going to fall down to my death. Death trap clad happily. Literally, my wings will fall apart, and I will fall down.
That's you. I'm sorry.
And he's like, but it'd be under sunlight. It'd be under your love, under your warmth.
Yeah.
He's like, I'd feel it. At least I'd feel it before I died. Like, he's basically saying her light is so, but I'm saying it's not more so like a never been loved, never have given love. It's more like the quality of love is never before seen, never before felt. So it's like he'd be willing to do anything for it. And the way he just talks about the love in this song, it's just, that's why I mentioned
also,
so many lyrics.
it's like,
so good.
You can perceive it as toxic as well, but you could also perceive it as just undying love, or like, you know.
And that's how I'm
Wait, what's the...
plus, Kinsey and I are aware that Kaylin often says that we have a
That'd be
toxic
the way to go.
style of love sometimes. So.
Yeah, I guess like undying devotion and like, you know, is like too much.
I don't think it's too much.
I don't think it's too much. There's only one of me.
Yeah. There's only
Can't
one
go around
Kinsey.
with everybody.
There's only one Mariah like me, and if you don't love me and dying me, then why are you with me? If you can go
Mhm.
find another Mariah, go on.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that'd be weird if like I were with someone and like we wouldn't want to die for each other. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You should want to love someone that much, and I don't think you should blindly do it. I think that you need to really be in it. Like, you
Yeah.
shouldn't feel that way about somebody that doesn't give a shit about you. But like, I think that it's only natural that like when you mate for life, like kind of that's just the creatures we are. You should want to sacrifice like, you know, for their well-being or make sure that they're okay. Like, literally save my life. Like,
I only
I'll
got
save
one
your
extra
life.
key to my heart, and I can't give it to everyone.
Yeah, you can't pass that shit
There's
around.
no spare keys.
Nope. It's
But-
one for me and one for them.
I'm
And
sorry.
that's
I
it.
know we talked about the song quite a while, but it's because my favorite
It's
song.
okay.
So we will have to move on to the next song.
Yeah, it was all right.
It
I'm
is
just-
shut the
I'm
shut the fuck up. The song is called Wasteland Baby. It is the last song on the album. So what did you guys think about it?
For some reason, I actually had no notes in my thing written past Would That I. But Wasteland Baby, I don't know why I stopped writing notes. I loved his vocals in this song.
Oh my god.
Obviously, his vocals are amazing in every song. But I think just hearing it, like, I think the parallels of starting this album with Nina sang Power. What's it called again?
Nina cried power.
Nina cried Power. I don't know, it's been a minute. Okay. Hearing the strong intensity of Nina cried Power and then ending it with Wasteland Baby, he knew what he was doing.
He did.
Mm-hmm.
He
It was
did.
almost like a gentle lullaby.
Yes. Yes, it
Yeah.
was. Yes. What do you have to say, Kaylin?
I'm trying to like refresh myself because I do know it's like metaphorically, literally like world-ending shit, but like
Mhm.
it's like in the most hopeful way ever. So I had to keep reminding myself that because like when you think of End of the World, it's like, you know, we're gonna die, but he is representing it as a new beginning. So I have to remind myself that that's what the song means.
Yes, Kaylin, you got it right on the head.
I forgot. That's why I was reading it again.
Okay, yes, the song is about two lovers, falling in love. And he says the act of falling in love is the apocalypse. It's life-changing, life-altering when you fall in love with
Mhm.
somebody that deeply. And that there's
You're
lots
right.
to lose. Things will die around you, like the world will be completely changed. But that if you love someone, which he loves his partner just as much, he's saying it in the song, he says, "In the stench of the sea and the absence of green, no life, are the death of all things that are seen and unseen, not an end, but the start of all things that are left to do." So he's saying the things that died probably needed to die, and that it's the start of things to make with one another. You know what I'm saying? And he says,
Girl.
"Wasteland Baby, I'm in love with you." It doesn't matter, like, if everything's died, everything's changing. He's like, "I'm so in love with you, I want to keep moving forward with you."
So Casca literally goes through the same thing when she falls in love with Guts. Sorry to bring up Berserk randomly, but
No, it's good.
she literally says, "I'm afraid of changing," like, because he's like, are you scared, like, do you want to do this? And she's like, "I'm just scared of changing," because she realized that like once she falls in love, it's going to be earth-shattering to all of her previous beliefs or what she thought she cared about, and that they won't matter anymore. He will matter. And I'm like,
And that's
the-
scary.
so like the end of the world, like, oh, that's, see, now I get it.
And the
I
funny
like it.
thing is, he's singing so happy. Like, he's so, like, into it the whole time. He's describing, like, literally cities burning, things dying.
Mhm.
And he's like, even in the midst of all this chaos and the change of my life, there's so much hope. This is a beginning, no matter how much death and destruction we're seeing right now. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. You Pisces man. You truly do. I think he has a Pisces Venus too. Or an Aquarius Venus. I forget. But, similar, to an extent. But yeah, the song is really good. I think he ends the album so well with the melody, the lyrics, and the
Yeah, his vocals are
speed.
so good in it.
Mhm.
And obviously, Mr. Hozier, we love you in every song. Your vocals are always
Mhm.
amazing. But this one was really good too.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I think when I go back to listen to this again while I'm at work, because I definitely, even though I'm trying to branch out to new music, I come back around to my tried and trues, especially when I need to focus. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna have another level of appreciation. Like, my favorite songs that I did understand, like, those will probably like stay similar. But I feel like I learned so much, like, especially about Wasteland Baby, because I kept telling myself that's what it meant, but like when you described it to the intensity, like with the lyrics, like a boy falling in love with a girl for the first time, like,
Ooh! Oh my God!
it's life changing. That's the life shattering, that like you're not going to be the same person. Like, it's the apocalypse to old you, which should happen in your lifetime. You should go through stages and evolutions. Like, you should constantly be changing and dying and being reborn into the newer and better version of yourself, and like just keep evolving like a Pokemon.
Like a
Like the
Pokemon.
Death Tarot card.
But at the end of the day, it's also just loving where you are at that moment. And he's like, yes, this is a wasteland right now. We don't know what the future will hold. We don't know what it'll look like. But, baby, I'm so in love with you. It's like, I love how he's being so present. Like, you know, things are dying around us, but there's still so many things to care about and hope to find in the world. Because we know the wheel's always turning, the wheel of fortune. Good things are going to happen, bad things are going to happen. That does not mean the bad times are worse than the good times. If anything, the bad times highlight what's worth good in the good times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yes, we have concluded the songs on this album, guys. So, before we get to our regular questions at the end, I want to ask, what are your top 3 favorite songs and short reasons why?
Gun to head, my top favorite songs. I really liked Nobody. Obviously, you know that. I liked Would That I and Sunlight.
Oh, I thought you were going to say To Noise Making. But
I know, but I like that one for a different reason. So it's hard to like put them in the same category. And if my gun was in my head, I don't think I'd say it off the top of my head.
What about you, Kaylin?
Okay, so it would be Would That I top, and then it would be Movement. I'm going to put second. Or
Gun to head.
I'm going to put it second, and then Gun to Head, it would be between Sunlight and Wasteland, Baby, because now that I
you
learned,
have to pick one. The
I know.
gun's to your head, you have to pick 3.
Let me explain why it's hard. Because Wasteland, Baby, I feel like I'm like, ooh, I got to know more sides to you during this conversation. I'm gonna go back and listen to you and compare you to Sunlight. But for now, because I do understand like the full depths of Sunlight, I'm going to pick Sunlight, even though they're very close, because I highly relate to Wasteland, Baby. Like, now that I understand it more, I just need to go back and listen to it, and maybe
Wasteland,
vocally
Baby
I'll be
is more
moved
your
one
favorite.
way or the other. I don't know. So for now, I'll be like, Sunlight, you got to go into my head, but like, I think that
That's how you put someone on spot.
Would
You
That
say
I
gun
is
to
my
head, what
top.
are you picking?
All right, guys. So would you share this album of Hozier's to someone or anyone?
I would totally share Hozier. I've told you before how like music has been so important to me in like my youth. Like, as I've told you, I don't know if it was the not coming from a place of being able to express my emotions, or was it the self-isolation or being sent alone when I was in trouble. So music was always like my personal escape. Music has always been very important to me, and honestly, even just like getting a chance to listen to music on my free time, because I have been a podcast girly for the last year. I think that it's like reminded me, it's like relit the spark that was already in me of like how important music has been to me. Like, I was telling kids earlier that like I think the reason why I like music because it always was able to express something that I wasn't able to express myself.
Yeah, that's what anime did for me.
Yeah, that was it for music. Maybe music was my autistic thing.
That was a lovely response, Brian. I like that. Kaylin, what is yours?
Mine might be a little more on the funny side.
I like that too.
You know, when you would roast me, because I'd be sitting there listening to Hozier with you, and my autism, I'm not reading lyrics that are poetic. Like, I can't process the one metaphor right when he hits me with another metaphor.
He hits them back to back.
And then you would turn to me, we'd be driving in the car, and you would be like, you know, I crawl out of my grave to come home to you. Like, you're like, how do you not understand the depths, you uncultured swine? And now I feel like I'm going to become that when I'm like playing it in the car. I'm like, did you hear what he just said? Did you hear how like fire that was? That's gas. Like, whoever I'm like talking to.
He's pushing P.
Yeah,
That's
so
gas.
My favorite thing with music is when like the lyrics hit you, because there's been times I've listened to music, I'm like, this is such a good song, and then you'll be driving or listening to your headphones, you're like, wait a second, did he just say? Did I just catch that line for the first time?
Did Adam just came?
Did Adam just come for the first time, bro?
Yeah.
Like something about listening to music for the first time, and you finally start to catch on to little metaphors, little side comments, and you're like, wait a second, and it just feels so like satisfying. You're like, I
see what you did there.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
so
a good feeling.
I'm so
cheeky
excited
motherfucker.
to show you guys the other Hozier albums when we get to them, because there's still good music to look at.
Oh, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I would share with other people, but I would say that like in the way that like you did with me, where it's like leveled up, like you're listening to it because you love it, and then I'm around and you're like, are you cultured or not?
Are you cultured?
Yeah.
Do you know
Did
what
you
love
listen to it
is?
with headphones in?
Yeah, I'm
I
at
feel like
work.
his
I work in a
music
cubicle.
Well,
homie.
you should know if like you listen to it like at home on the TV or something. His music
Oh,
like
yeah, I do
definitely
listen
had to be
outside.
like a headphones person. I feel
Oh,
like
It's headphones
There's
or it's
certain-
volume all the way up in
yes,
the car.
there's certain songs, like certain artists where you can just casually listen to. Like his is very much like you needed that like in your. I needed it in my brain
Because you need to be in church.
I needed to hear the song. Shut up.
Well, the
I need
reason
to hear
when you're at
songs. I need to hear the lyrics. I need to hear the melody. I need to hear every single backup vocal that was going on. And you can't hear those backup vocals if you ain't got headphones in.
the reason why choir music is so moving is like the architecture's designed very theatrically to go all
Amplify.
around you, and like it uplifts you and you feel very spiritual and
Yeah.
connected to it. So it's like having that surround sound in your AirPods, like I'm sure, like
I'm talking to God.
yes,
Like, that's
with Hozier. Mariah,
Yes.
why do you not put the water bottle caps back on when you're done?
She's a heathen.
Well, because what
Where did
happens
they go?
is they're all right here.
All 4?
They're all right here.
I take the caps off so that when I'm recording, I don't have to do that. I don't have to untwist it. It's just there. I can do it silently and go.
All right.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. I was doing really good about taking my water bottles out. When we
I just
first
never
started the
noticed. I was like, what a
podcast
collection.
5 months ago. Every time y'all would leave me and make me clean up my mess alone, and I started leaving them out of solidarity
Oh.
because I was upset that nobody was helping me clean up at the pod. So I started leaving my water bottles.
It wasn't a comment on you leaving garbage. Like, I don't care about water bottle.
I was just saying that's why.
I just was looking over and I was like, what an
for-
odd woman not
for
putting the
any-
lids back on.
For any Hozier fans
Yeah, like we can start a collection.
for any Hozier fans, if we said anything wrong or if we didn't
We
say
don't
the
care.
analysis is correct about the song, I'm fucking sorry.
It's art.
Okay,
It's art, and we're allowed to interpret our own.
But please don't roast us too
Mom, I'm
hard. if
Roast
we
me.
were
Go
wrong.
ahead. My at is. No, I'm kidding.
My at is
Post credit depression on Instagram. Comment on there, and I'm the one who handles that shit. So go ahead.
we'll share your hate tweets.
Yeah, we
and-
will.
and
It'll be
we will
funny.
laugh at them.
That would be at post credit dep on Twitter because I couldn't put the whole word. So,
Department.
Come find us on there. I'll gladly talk to you.
Who's sharing something next?
What are you showing us next week, Mariah?
Next week, it's been long awaited. I asked Kaylin to watch this movie after 3 months of knowing her, and here we are, 2 years later. I'm sharing The Outsiders. I was trying to think of something
sexy.
a little more lively. A little more lively, but I just really,
I actually watched it
really-
with Colin the other day. It's a joke.
I figured after a second, but for a split second, I was like, I fucking hate you. I wanted to share something more lively, but I just really, really want you to see this because you haven't seen it. I feel like I've decided with Kinsey that my goal right now with the pod is to show you things that you should have experienced as a child.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I enjoyed the One Direction class so far.
We'll
I'm
get
looking
back in
forward
that
to the next
eventually.
one. Yeah.
So I'm showing The Outsiders. I'm really excited. I'm excited for you to see that. It's a great movie. It's a great book. I was forced to read it because it was a summer reading book that I didn't read, and I told like an idiot, I told the truth. And my teacher made me sit in the hallway for the first week of 8th grade, and all I had to do was read the book. And I was like, "This is a good ass book. Why didn't I read this shit earlier?" Damn.
I didn't know that.
And then the whole class watched the film, and I remember being 14, and there's a scene where Soda Pop walks out the shower, and his towel falls off his body, and all the girls in my class were like,
Sody pop.
"Yeah."
I always get so salty when a teacher makes you read a boring looking ass book and you actually like it. You're like, damn, bitch.
Damn, bitch,
That's
couldn't have
actually-
given me a
that's actually fire.
synopsis or something?
Fire.